My husband wants to go on a trip with his hot friend.
What?
I said my husband wants to go on a trip with his hot friend.
What?
We broke John. Okay. My husband comes from a big group of people that aren't related, but were basically raised like one big family. I think at the core, there are 6 families who all vacation together, did holidays together, are each other's godparents, etc., etc. They're essentially family. By the way, this comes from user husband and friend, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, my husband represents the older end of the kids at about 35, while this girl, Shelby, represents the younger end at 22. But to see them together, you really would think they're cousins or even brother and sister. Shelby was a flower girl at our wedding when she was 12, so I too have known her for a long time. To be very frank, I've never hit it off with Shelby. She's a nice girl, and I can't take that away from her. I admit a lot of this may be jealousy on my part because the little tomboy has blossomed literally into a woman that is a model. Like, model good looking. In fact, she is a model. She's one of these girls that's been able to turn her Instagram account into a reasonable monthly income. So an influencer.
Some would say. As my mom would say, she would look pretty in a potato sack. So my mom says.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that saying.
Shout out to Priscilla.
Shout out potato sacks. So, she is also a ski instructor, college student, sweet, funny, and lovable. And to top this all off, my husband absolutely lights up around her in a way that he doesn't do for anyone else, male or female. But to be fair, he is like this with our kids, too. Okay, pause. I'm going to address 2 things. First of all, you've just pointed out that clearly he does have this vibe with his children. And this was a 12-year-old flower girl of your wedding when you guys got married 10 years ago. Saying I never hit it off with Shelby when she was a 12-year-old flower girl at your wedding is a weird vibe. Not gonna lie. It's like, that's...
Weird way to word it. I would say, I didn't connect, like...
Right, a weird way to put it. Meanwhile, I feel like the mean, awful wife who's gained 50 pounds yells at the kids about dishes and nags my husband that he can't go skiing, which is his absolute passion in life because of my parents' anniversary party. So yes, I admit a big part of this problem is my own insecurity and jealousy. So I had given in and agreed that he should take 2 weeks off this winter to take a once-in-a-lifetime ski trip to Whistler, British Columbia. He was originally supposed to go with a college friend. The trip is all set up and paid for, but about an hour ago, he calls and tells me that he has bad news and good news. The bad news is his friend backed out of the trip, and the good news is he already talked with Shelby, and she has agreed to fill in the now vacant spot. Yay! Sarcasm.
What about your wife, bro? Let me take this hot 22-year-old. What, it was family friend? How do they know her?
Let me guess. I'm gonna guess. Wife hates skiing. Just the way that she phrased it, where she's like, that he can't go on a skiing trip, his absolute passion in life. I feel like wife doesn't care about it at all.
Good theory.
I could be off, though.
Hey, that's okay.
And that is fine, but that's my guess, just based on how she phrased
fun.
that. She just seems, guys, OP just seems a little too bitter here, okay? She's maybe, if he's treating her like how he treats your children, let that inform the situation, I think. But I digress.
Okay. Yeah.
I stammered for a little bit, and I think what came out of my mouth was, "You're going on a trip with a 22-year-old girl?" And he replied with something like, "Well, it's not any girl, it's Shelby." I think I said, okay, but what about the room? And he told me that Shelby is like his sister and that he's shared hotel rooms with her before. I told him I was incredibly uncomfortable with this, and the last I knew they shared a hotel room was when she was around 5 and he was babysitting her on a vacation. So this is the last time I'm gonna pause to mention this. Like, I'm not even kidding. If you can look at your husband, and he's had a relationship with this Shelby girl since she was an actual toddler, and you're like, I'm suspicious you have other intent. I think you just need to either get a lot of therapy or break it off entirely, because there's literally no trust. Entirely. He's known her since she's 5. It's that kind of dynamic.
It's a very serious accusation and suspicion.
You're essentially saying, I think you'd sleep with your sister. And that's a big thing to levy at someone, you know? Anyway, okay.
I would say talk, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, no, for sure. It needs to be a discussion. Of course, you're feeling a lot of you can feel how you feel about it, but you got to talk about it.
Yeah.
And
Indeed.
I think you're already quite aware that you're like, this is coming from a place of jealousy and insecurity and not from a place of reality. So keep that in mind. Okay. So I told him that I really had to think about this, and he seemed like he was shocked that I didn't just immediately share his excitement at the quote unquote good news. We both hung up disappointed. He's going to be home in about 2 hours, and I really don't know what to say to him. I very frankly do not want my husband sharing a hotel room with a 22-year-old Instagram model. However, I also know that they booked super early to secure a special rate on the room, and if they tried to book a second room now, it would be hundreds and maybe more dollars per night. There is a good chance that if he doesn't take Shelby or get someone else to fill in, he may have to cancel the trip because it will just be too expensive for us in terms of the room, the gas to get there, etc., etc. He's been wanting to do this trip for a very long time, and I don't want to ruin it for him. But to repeat, I don't want my husband sharing a hotel room with a 22-year-old Instagram model. That is very fair on its face.
It's very fair, but again, it's like that's your cousin. That's like your family. That's pretty much your family, and like that's all you view her as is a 22-year-old Instagram model.
That's just not, yeah. So it's not. That's not what she is, though.
Yeah, she's family.
Is that OP's bio cousin? That's what I was having a hard time remembering. Dingus Spot, what is the relation of the 22-year-old Instagram model to OP and OP's spouse? Let's see if Dingus Spot can get that. It's a tough one. The 22-year-old Instagram model, Shelby, is a family friend who has known the narrator and her husband since she was 12-year-old flower girl at the wedding.
Oh, even longer than that, apparently.
Even longer than that.
Apparently, it goes all the way back to as far as 5.
Yeah. So, right. So it's like, it basically, it's family friend, but at that point, it's just family. You know what I mean? It's
And
like
it's
someone
what,
you've known for so long.
Yeah, and OP is 35-ish.
So that means that it was like, okay, OP was like 18 when Shelby was 5. Somewhere around there. So like, again, it's just like I don't know. Look, I can think of 2 off the top of my head of like this exact context where it's like on paper, like if I said it, they'd be like, oh my God, no, that's like inappropriate. But it's like, you're telling me that I want to hook up with my sister.
Yeah. Or you're like,
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
That's not what that is.
Yeah, the way that OP's coming off of it is, yeah, if it was like, I don't feel comfortable that you're going with Shelby. Like, or, you know, like maybe you should ask me first to see if that's okay with me. If it's like the way that OP's going about it is a little obviously insecure, but I feel like if it was a different way of approaching it, like, oh, why don't, go with one of your other male buddies first?
Even, definitely way better, but I would say even like, oh, why didn't you ask me first? I'm like, because again, I'm viewing this of the lens of like, if it's a niece, right? It's like, oh, I'm taking my niece on like a vacation and it's going to be fun or whatever. That's fine. I think we would need way more context into how they have interacted and behaved. Now, if she gave us a lot of details of like, oh, this happened, we would know and be informed in that sense.
Well, let's pull back a second again.
Yes.
She's a ski instructor.
Oh,
just about the most sensible person to bring on the ski trip, regardless, right? So
that's true.
It's, I don't know. I think you're totally entitled to feel this way, but it needs to be like hey, we need to sit down and get really, really clear on Shelby because and I don't think OP's ever said this. I don't think OP has ever fully explained or expressed the real way that she feels about Shelby because she's never had to.
Right. Yes.
But now she's being put in a position where you're going to have to get clear.
And now it's like they can work on getting that clarity and what that means. And then we're assuming everything is innocent. Then OP's like, okay, I probably have some work to do there. So,
yeah. God, I'm really, please let it just be innocent for God's sakes, or I've dug myself such an unbelievable hole right now. Please, for the love of God.
We shall see.
Okay. Is this a put my foot down situation? Is making me comfortable more important than his dream vacation? And there are relevant comments. Why doesn't OP go or make it a family vacation? I'm not very athletic and the trip is very, very expensive, so it's just out of reach for our family to go. Very frankly, I don't like to be cold, so skiing is just not my thing. I don't mind this at all, and I'm glad he has something he's so passionate about. And we do take a ski trip every year with the kids. I don't ski, I just stay in the room or shop, but this one is so far away that he's having to drive through the night, so it's just not a kid-friendly trip. Plus, he's a really great skier, so he wants to be with other great skiers on this trip. Edit. There's no way that's his name.
Yes, it's his name. Read it.
Craig spelled with a G.
Greg.
Greg, G-R-A-I-G, Greg.
Greg is his name. We have a new legend in the OK Storytime lore.
The Greg.
The Greg. We have Do It For Dan, and we have Greg.
Big Greg.
Big Greg.
Big Greg's going to Whistler. Okay, edit. Greg, I'm so happy about that, just got home and kissed me hello as usual and then said he'd already canceled the trip and was sorry to make me uncomfortable. He's acting like everything is fine, and working on our family puzzle with the kids, but I know him well enough to know he's really heartbroken at not getting to go. Whether that upset comes from his friend or from me or the Shelby situation, I'm not sure. I feel terrible because he works so hard and has 2 jobs, and I've taken 2 long vacations without him because he knows being a stay-at-home mom is hard. He's been wanting to ski at Whistler since he was a teenager. Dude, all right. All this is okay. I feel awful that my insecurities and lack of excitement at his passions scuttled his trip. I have no idea how to make this up to him because I feel awful. OP adds a little more on her 2 trips. My best friend and I took a 2-week trip to Italy last summer, so I have done a similar trip to his, just not with a boy toy for a roommate. But then again, I don't have any family friends like he does. Right. Okay, there's another comment here. How many comments do we have before the update? Okay, we've got, oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's pause here for a second, John, because I want to hear your thoughts on where we're at.
Yes.
What is the path forward?
So we heard 2 things. We heard one, that she felt very remorseful for him canceling his trip when she's had 2 similar trips of his. Like, basically, it kind of feels like unfair a little bit, right? Like,
Yeah.
he canceled his trip to, make her happy, basically, and she's already had her trips, 2 of them. But then in the same breath, almost, she's like, but I didn't have a boy toy. So I think you were right. I think Dakota's instincts proved right, ladies and gentlemen. And I think OP now has to reckon with the fact that she is, and someone in the chat, could you scroll up a little bit? I might not be able to find it, but I would love to read schmegsualizing. That's the key word there.
Everyone in chat spelling Greg's name wrong. You can't.
Yes.
It's Graig.
Great. Yeah.
Greg. Craig with a G. Very important.
Greg. Like Greg.
Greg.
Are we missing it?
Have to
I
come
probably
get
missed
egg.
it. Anyways, someone in chat said that they're schmegsualizing the relationship between OP and Shelby. And yeah, I think to Dakota's point, I think they need to sit down and talk about it more, where she fully breaks down how she feels and has felt about it, and then is kind of like, how do I work through this? Maybe a great thing they could work together in couples counseling.
Yeah.
I think that would be good, because now we're getting into the territory, and I really hate when relationships go here in these stories on the show, where it's like now one partner is getting all these things and the other partner is not, and there's this inequity going on. And it seems like Greg is fine with it, but again, I think Opie's right. He's probably heartbroken that he didn't go to this trip he's been dreaming about. Support your partner's passions. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And just right before we get it back into it, his willingness to immediately cancel it again shows me
Yes.
that there is nothing.
That was the kicker for me.
There's no foul deeds being plotted in the darkness here.
This was like, I can surprise my niece, who is again, like a niece, quote unquote.
Also an avid skier. Yes.
Who is a skier with something that it's same thing as like, it's like taking your kid to Disney World. Like that same excitement and joy, and that's why he was excited to share it with her. I think that's true.
John, I'll be your kid.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Oh, listen, I will whip out that papoose and put you in it faster than you can say
I
papoose.
need to see this immediately. I'm buying a bolt of canvas and I'm making a papoose for you, Keon. A grown man papoose.
This is me carrying you.
Grown man papoose.
I think we all love to see that.
Yeah.
Grown man papoose.
Grown man papoose.
Okay.
Anyways.
Another comment here from Cross Beats says, to me, the issue isn't about him taking her on the trip or even sharing a hotel room. The problem is that he didn't run it by you first. He put what he wanted to do ahead of your feelings and input, which is a good point. If OP had ever expressed these feelings before, which I don't think has happened. I don't think he had any knowledge that he would need to do this. Anyway, that's just a guess though. The commenter says, my best friend is a guy, so maybe my perspective is a bit different, but we've stayed the night in the same room on trips together plenty of times, and it's no different than staying in a room with my female friends. Maybe a bit more effort to be modest. Now that I'm in a relationship, my only hesitation on planning a trip with him would be to check with my girlfriend that she was okay with it. Have you ever given him reason to think you were or weren't okay with them sharing a room in the past? OP replies, were you locking in there?
Oh, I was like, Dakota's point.
Oh, okay.
That was Dakota's point.
Just want to make sure I wasn't cutting you off. OP says, if I know my husband, what happened is Berto, I'm guessing the friend who was supposed to go on the trip, canceled in the middle of the day with little explanation. My husband then freaked out that his dream trip was going to crumble right before his eyes, so he got on his phone and just called everyone he knew that might be interested and available. Whether or not Shelby was first, I don't know, but I doubt seriously he even thought he had to talk it over with me. So to be fair and to answer your questions, he did have to share a hotel room with my sister when he had to drive out and rescue her when her car broke down in the middle of nowhere. In his brain, my sister and Shelby may be on the same relationship level. And there is a second edit here. Let's go ahead and get into it. Edit number 2. To add to my guilt, Shelby just called me directly and apologized profusely and wanted me to know how much she loves me and the kids, and that she would never do anything to make me uncomfortable. No excuses or blame or anything, just her apologizing to me. And there's a third edit. I swear, if this doesn't end with this trip happening, I'm gonna be sad.
She's gonna take.
So is
another trip.
Greg.
Yeah, as
With
someone who
AI.
also would, love snowboarding, this would break me. I would be broken.
You're a fellow snowboard instructor. You and Shelby
True.
are one in the skin. That's your treacherous little twin.
Yeah. I'm not a hack, but I'm not a great teacher. I'm not gonna lie. So, but I can teach you how to snowboard. Keon.
No.
Dang it.
I would love for you to teach me.
I will
You can
teach
teach
you.
John. You can teach John.
I'd love to teach
We'll
you.
go on a trip
Take
together.
Carl's. Do that.
Let me just freaking
No, I'm gonna pull an
yell at
OP
him to
I'm-
be brave,
I'm gonna
chat.
pull. No,
you literally have a ghost that follows you around and you're too scared to have me teach you how to snowboard? I hate you.
I did my bravery.
I hate you.
My only time I went skiing
No.
is double black diamonds.
Stop it. Stop.
That's called bravery.
Stop it. I will hear no more of this. Edit number 3. I was able to talk to the hotel and managed to just catch a reservation agent before they went home. Not only was I able to get his original reservation back and the price, I'm dipping into my own girly fund to upgrade them to a suite. So while it's not 2 rooms per se, they now will have a living room with a fold-out bed with a separate bedroom, which will go a long way to help me and my insecurities, because it won't be a typical hotel room with 2 beds right next to each other. Fair enough. I like this. I'm telling Greg, spelled like Craig with a G, in just a minute, and then I'll call Shelby back and let her know that I appreciate her and everything she does for us. I have a lot of work to do on myself, and if anything, this has made me realize that my insecurities are a big, big problem. And there is an edit 4. Okay.
I'm excited.
Saturday, and I promise I will let this go after this edit. Comments are still pretty evenly split as to whether this is a good or bad idea. At this point, I'm as confident as I can be at my decision. I just talked with Greg about some minor concessions and clarifications I would like from him, which were basically no nudeness or underwear around each other. Shelby gets the bedroom in the suite, so she has her private girl space. Lock the bathroom door all the time, so there's no possibility of that misunderstanding or accidents. No cute couple-type pictures for her Instagram that could be taken out of context. And please call often and Skype at least once a day. OP continues and says, I still feel a little too demanding, which is what I would have said, but I also feel like I'm giving a lot. Greg is beside himself that his dream trip is finally happening, and I just talked with Shelby, and she promised me free babysitting for life and a weekend together in Denver at a spa that sponsors her Instagram. Girl isn't doing too bad for herself. Apparently, a cute booty and cheeky bikinis take you places. Winky face. See, this is my issue with her.
Oh, so boomer.
She can't really just be like happy that Shelby exists and is like thriving.
It's always something else. Yeah.
She's just like mad that Shelby is young and hot and that her husband lights up around her, but in the same way he lights up around your children.
It's your niece.
So you should really let that inform you.
But again, those are all valid. But I think those are all, I mean, I've said it before, men are dumb, but those are all also like pretty much common sense
Yeah.
kind of thing.
No
But-
wonder he lights up around her like she's his child. He's only known her since she was 5 years old.
Yep.
Like, anyway, so she's also told me that she loved me about 1,000,000 times. I really appreciate all the comments yesterday and today. I'm going to really try and turn over a new leaf and get healthy. I'm going to start phasing in eating paleo with Greg. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to go to my first ever hot yoga class with a long-term goal of losing weight and really getting healthy. So the next time this comes up, I can share in my husband's passions like he does for me. And then I get the invite to a dream ski trip. And we have another update. Wow. Okay. So I kind of like where we're at here.
Here's what I'll say,
I like it.
and I'm curious if you agree, Dakota. OP is changing. OP is going in this direction. However, we can all admit that changing can be hard. We can get back. We have our old habits. We have our neural pathways baked into our brain, and that's a tricky thing to grow out of. So it seems that I think OP is absolutely going in the right direction, and I think if we just keep putting one foot in front of the other in that direction, I think we can arrive to the promised land. What say you?
I completely agree. In fact, I'll go so far as to say changing once you're, an adult is one of the hardest thing ever, actually. Being committed to changing every single day sucks. But, the end results are worth it. It's like, yeah, so OP's acknowledging that the change is needing to happen and it would be beneficial.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. And if this was a 22-year-old coworker, a 22-year-old rando, you're 100% on the money, OP. That's not happening.
Context matters.
Yeah. So, update. Greg and Shelby just drove up to the house. Greg is getting ready for work, and Shelby is actually taking a nap in our guest room since she drove most of the night. The trip went very well. Oh, so this is post-trip. I didn't even realize. Okay, this is after the trip. The trip went very well, and they both had a great time. As for me being insecure, Greg did everything I asked of him to reassure me that there was nothing at all inappropriate going on. He called multiple times a day, and we Skyped for maybe 15 to 20 minutes a night, almost every night. I got a good idea of the room layout and saw that even though they were sharing a suite, they both had plenty of privacy. I did have one moment early on where the reality of my husband sharing a hotel room with an Instagram model in her 20s sort of took my breath away, but it wasn't Shelby's fault. Me and our 9-year-old son were on Skype with my husband, and I saw Shelby in the background wearing a swimsuit getting ready to go to the hot tub. When she realized my son was on Skype, they have a very playful, almost flirty relationship. She leaned over my husband's shoulder and said something like, "Hey, AJ, I'm going to destroy you in Halo when I get back. Is that marry me?"
That's Dakota's wife.
Yeah.
Shelby, where are you?
Please go on Discord. Go to our Discord. It's OK Storytime Discord and at Dakota so we can get you guys married. Thank you.
Play you in Halo, and then I'll teach
She
you.
can destroy you in Halo.
I know you ski right now, Shelby, but I'll get you snowboarding. It's harder.
He's going to convert you.
Well, anyway, there's a long debate.
I like how all of our brains went,
Yeah.
Halo.
All at the same time.
My Halo. Okay. So she says that to AJ, but her front airbags were basically right on Greg's shoulder with her ample cleavage in full view. Girl, it sounds like you have a crush on Shelby. That's a thought.
Oh no, she's hot.
Oh no, she's hot. That's perfect. So in my brain, I was thinking, Buster, if your eyes so much as look left, it's over. Whew. But Greg didn't even flinch, which made me realize that to him, seeing Shelby in a bikini really is like seeing his sister or cousin. So all in all, they had a great time. Greg has since left for work, and I'm sure I'll chat more with Shelby when she wakes up for her drive across town. As for me, I've spent the last 2 weeks really just dedicating myself to losing weight, getting healthy, and being passionate about something again. I've signed up for a 60-day challenge at our local hot yoga studio and have been going every day. I've started using an app to count calories, and I'm astonished at how much I've actually been mindlessly eating for years. And in 2 weeks, I've lost just under 5 pounds, which makes me feel really great.
Very nice.
And by the way, something that'll make you feel really great is listening to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime, the name of our show, and you can listen to over 2,800 episodes. Wow.
That is correct.
And then we just have a little bit of story left here. Let's get it. Edit. I had no idea this would blow up again, but thank you. Shelby just left to go to her apartment after we sat and chatted a bit. She's an amazing girl, and I get zero hint that anything went on. I'm just adding this here for the people who think she and Greg are shady. She was so appreciative, and she's going to babysit for us whenever we need it and do a girls' day at a spa in Denver with me when the ski season is over and her weekends free up. What's crazy is how this and my last post's comments are so split down the middle. To just answer the most common questions in the comments, I was really kidding about him looking at Shelby's bikini. If he looked, but it was still a little shocking to see another woman and her more intimate parts so close to my husband. The hot tub pool was for the entire hotel, so as far as I know, they were never alone, at least for very long. I should add that Shelby had a towel around her waist. I didn't go, nor had the option to go, because we have kids in school and Greg booked this trip last summer. They were leaving Sunday and his friend canceled Friday, so it was far too late to make 2-week childcare plans. He asked Shelby as opposed to other people from the group of friends because she's the only one really on his level when it comes to skiing. So upgrading to the suite cost me $50 a night extra, which was not cheap, but trying to get 2 rooms would have been $450 a night extra. This was the best compromise I could come up with. I'm still insecure, but I'm working on it. I'm not sure if I need therapy or if I just need to get something in my life other than kids and husband to look forward to. I was in quite a rut. The hot yoga has really helped because it's challenging and I've made new friends. And to the guys asking for Shelby's Instagram, funny but no. Dang.
It's okay.
All right.
Shelby, everyone, Community.
No, it's okay.
No,
It doesn't feel like Shelby's my wife anymore.
this
now.
is Mrs. Dakota.
This is no. It's not.
Community. This is Mrs. Dakota.
No, it doesn't feel right anymore.
Make the intro. That's all we're asking.
It doesn't feel. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right.
Shelby, if you're watching this, I want you to take one good, long, hard look at the hot hunk of a man sitting to my left. That's right. Marry him. That's it. That's it. Now, here's my question. Do we have more stories, or do we have no more stories for this episode?
We've got another story. We do. Okay, we'll do it.
All right. Boys and girls, are we ready? Let's do it. My husband is still in love with his high school friend.
Oops.
Oh, God. So to start off, my husband, Steve, 29 male, and I, 28 female, have been together for about 9 years, 7 of which are as husband and wife. Wow. We met in university, and so I know little to nothing about his life back when he was in high school. Little to nothing? We've had a smooth relationship with a few fights, and we have no kids, but intend to have a child soon. By the way, this comes from username. And if you want to submit your own story, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So a little more than a week ago, when I came home from work, the moment when I stepped into my house, I saw Steve and this woman chatting in the living room. It wasn't that big of a deal, but I only wished that he would have informed me that there would be a guest at the house. Fair enough.
We're in fair territory.
Yep. He introduced me to her, of whom I am going to call Eve, as she was an old friend back in high school, and it's been about a decade since they've last seen each other. I sat down next to my husband to join in on the conversation, but it seemed as though the talking would only be between Steve and Eve. You weren't ready for that to rhyme, because I wasn't. I forgot. I didn't connect.
Steve and Eve.
Now I get it. They're old buddies from high school. You're not a part of it, so give them a break. But it seemed as though Steve was purposefully ignoring me, because Eve did try to include me in the conversation, asking how long Steve and I had been together and such, but he wouldn't even assist in answering such types of questions. So how long have you and OP been together?
Who?
Your wife sitting right next to you, like 6 inches from you? Yeah.
Oh, we'll take it away.
Wait, who am I? What?
I mean, like, take it away, like I'm pointing to the wife, like, oh, take it away. But you could also be like, take it away, take my wife away, take her away.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, I got so confused in that.
There's a couple layers there. There's a couple layers there.
It made me giggle. I hope it made you guys giggle. So after they went back to a one-on-one conversation, I just went on with my business around the house. Eve stayed for about an hour more before she had left and gone home. I then asked Steve a bit more about Eve. I didn't mean to come off as terribly nosy, but I asked about how they met, or so, what she's like. I didn't get much of a response other than, it's just old history, or Eve's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How
Pretty cool.
The only thing I really knew about her was her name, that they reunited on Facebook, and she's an old friend of my husband's. After that day, Steve went out to lunch with Eve. He had notified me, so I wasn't worried, but then he would go bowling with Eve, to the movies with Eve, even shopping with Eve. And mind you, I almost always do the shopping while my husband likes to stay at home. He doesn't like shopping with wifey, but he likes it with Eve. Without even telling me that he was going with Eve unless I asked him. Rock Chick 182 just said the most outlandish thing I've ever heard in my entire existence on planet Earth, which is he still has feelings for Eve. Rock Chick 182, that's insanity.
How could you?
There's negative 1 trillion% evidence supporting your claim.
Negative 100 trillion.
Negative 100 trillion. All right. So, a couple nights back, I finally told him that I just find it a bit uncomfortable that he was spending so much time with Eve, and that I hoped maybe we could spend some more time together, but in the end, he only told me that I was overreacting. Oh, your feelings don't matter, what the heck? Ever since Eve showed up, Steve and I had only had spicy sleep once, and that scares me the most because we usually have spicy sleep about every other night.
Yowza.
What are we thinking?
Boing, oing, 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 oing. Daooga. Auga.
Dakota, are you saying what Ultraviolet 90XX is saying in chat? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That he's effing Eve?
Yeah.
That he took a bite from the apple from the tree? Delicious. Oh, God. Now I'm scared that he's really is having an affair with Eve because he's been so vague with me when it comes to her. Always going out with her and just being so distant from me and everything he's been doing. I know the passcode to his phone, and I'm well aware I could look through his phone when he's not looking, but that's a line that I just do not want to cross. Good. I love Steve, and I thought I trusted him, but with all of his evidence piling up, I'm beginning to just question him. Please don't get the idea that Eve is a no-good homewrecker either. I barely know her myself. Quick gut check, Dakota. Is OP being fair so far?
Yeah.
I think so.
You can feel the vibe, dude.
Yeah, but you can.
And this vibe feels very weird.
And even giving Eve credit, like, hey, look, I don't even know. I did find her Facebook profile, and I shamefully went through her profile and had found out that she's newly engaged. I thought about messaging her myself, but I wouldn't even know what to say. How should I handle this? Am I just being paranoid? And there is an update. So I'm going to ask my gorgeous, sexy man to the left of me, Dakota Payne, what he thinks about this situation.
He lied to you because he omitted, you know? And this is not I didn't even think I needed to mention that I was going with Eve shopping because it's so innocent. It was like I shouldn't mention that I'm going shopping with Eve because she might put an end to that. That's where that's coming from. It's coming from I won't tell you this because I don't want consequences. I don't want you to exert your will upon it because you have the right to, as my partner, be like, that feels kind of strange. You're going on dates, essentially, with this girl. Like,
And you know what I'll say? I'm gonna agree with that. And I'm gonna say when Opie says, hey, I'm like just kind of uneasy about this. Like, I don't know. He's like, oh, what are you talking about? I mean, no, everything's fine. Dakota, if I could ask you if you have your government assigned wife now, we're in a parallel universe, a different universe.
Okay.
And your beautiful assigned wife says, hey, you know, there's this girl I've been hanging around. I just kind of feel uneasy. You know, I don't know. What's going on there?
the state already told me what's up, babe.
No, dang it.
I don't have. What are you talking about? I think if you take away though, and it's just my wife, it's not my state, my
Yes, okay.
federally mandated
we'll
wife.
take out federal mandate. Yeah.
No federal mandate. Okay, I'm like, all right, I'm seeing where you're coming from, and you know, maybe I have to admit that I have some stuff that I got to work out with Eve. Maybe I'm kind of latching on to an old idea, an old feeling I had about Eve.
Dakota, you're saying this as if you have empathy and care for your partner.
Yeah. Look, if your partner's
Wow.
like, I'm uncomfortable, it's like you should try to do your best to make it not uncomfortable, you know, especially if it's reasonable, which, yeah, the girl you were in love with in high school, it sounds like it's a pretty reasonable ask.
And there it is. Dakota Payne has just said succinctly the point of the exercise that I just did to illustrate said point. And now we have an update. So last night, when Steve and I sat down for dinner, we ate quietly across from each other. I had decided that I would talk to him about how his behavior has been unacceptable lately and how he has been spending too much time with Eve, which in turn was neglecting me. I started the conversation by asking how his day went, how work was, and then gradually led up to asking if I could see his phone. He had asked why, and I replied that I just wanted to see it. He said no.
Okay.
Here you go. You want my phone? That's what the answer should be. I asked him why I couldn't see it, and he said, since he doesn't look through my phone, then why do I need to look through his? I had tried to urge him to let me see it, but he said that his final answer was no. I then said that we needed to talk about Eve. At this point, he just groans, ugh, and asked why I can't just drop the topic with Eve and that I was being nosy. I got really mad and told him to shut up and just listen to me. At that point, I let it all out. I had told him that he was prioritizing Eve first and me after, and that I didn't understand why I couldn't just go out with him whenever he and Eve would hang out together, that he's been so vague when it came to anything about Eve, and that I shouldn't have to ask to know that he went out to hang out with Eve. I just feel left out as his wife and his best friend. He shouldn't feel as though he has to keep any of his own history from me, but after I was done with my own rant, I waited for his response. I expected some sort of explanation, some sort of apology, or heck, at least some questions to at least find some sort of common ground on how I felt. He said nothing of the sort. Instead, he said I was being ridiculous and that I'm antagonizing him for just catching up with an old friend.
Shut up. You can do that with a phone call. You don't have to date your friend to catch up with her.
Dakota, I just met up with my old friend. And from this moment until the day I die, I have to do everything in my power to spend every single waking and maybe sleeping second with this person.
Just until you make sure you're caught up.
Just until, listen, what were we were 18 and now we're like 30. I got to give 12 years.
12 years straight of just hanging out, me and Eve.
Like, and when I say 12 years, I don't mean like, oh, we hang out throughout those 12 years. I mean, literal 12 years of combined spent time together.
Yes.
So it'll probably take me another like 40 years to get that, just with work and everything else.
Right, with all my other responsibilities.
And now, Dakota, at that point, if I'm going to spend 40 years with you, I'm 30 years old. What do I have to do?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to marry Eve right now. I think I'm going to have to divorce you and get married to Eve before we get married in 30 years.
But you don't need to check my phone.
Yeah, and also don't check my phone. Shut up. Shut up.
Come on. Come on.
It's such an obvious, like, it's like my phone. Why do you want to look at my phone? There's not even anything in there to look at. No, you can't see it.
And also, and we're going to get back to the story in a second, but I got to shout out to OP because so often in these stories, people are like, oh, let me check the phone, da-da-da-da. OP did the thing, which was like, hey, look, I'm just going to honestly express how I'm feeling. I'm going to lay it all out. I'm going to be 100% honest. And can I see your phone? Because that's something that would, make me appease these feelings or whatever.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to ask your permission to see your phone. And then he had this response that told OP what she needed to know without invading his privacy and becoming the bad guy in the process. OP has stayed the good guy, aka the good girl, because OP is a lady. So take that. Point at him, Dakota. Point at him. God, that was intense. All right. I told him that he was acting so shady, how I would have to dig to find the whole truth, and how it seemed as though he was so much more invested in Eve than he was with me. He was then offended by the fact that I called him shady and had yelled back at me at how I had so little trust in my faithful husband after all of these years of marriage. That statement alone just ticked me off because it led me to pointing out all of his sketchy behavior. And when I asked him why he wouldn't invite me to an outing with Eve, nonetheless, tell me about her, he just said that he's allowed to have his own friends without me interfering. Which is BS because I don't usually go out with him when it's his guys' night out unless he invites me to come. We get into a full-blown argument, which led to me going to the bedroom and staying there for the rest of the night. When we woke up this morning, neither of us was in a mood to speak to each other, and I just headed off to work. During lunch, I was on Facebook and went on Eve's Facebook and sent her a friend request. I then messaged her if we could have lunch tomorrow. She did reply a bit later, and I asked her to please not tell Steve about this. She replied, sure, I guess.
Sure, I guess.
Sure, I guess.
Okay.
I really hope she does not tell Steve, but if she does, I wouldn't be surprised, but I have no clue what to do. We will be having lunch tomorrow, and I'm going to ask her about her relationship with Steve, but I have no idea how I'm going to execute it. I will try to update as soon as possible, and we have said update as soon as possible.
Update el dos.
Can I ask you this, Dakota?
Mm.
My conspiracy theory is that Steve is in love with Eve and is spending all this time and all this stuff, and I don't actually think they have a physical relationship with each other.
Not yet. Yeah.
Not yet. I think that Steve is just pining and trying to, drop the hints, spending all the time and everything to smoke signal to Eve. Like, I want to be with you. I want an affair with you. Do you agree? Do you disagree?
Steve is loving having a girlfriend instead of a wife. That's what Steve's loving. Steve's loving having a girlfriend that's not his wife.
Correct.
I think the most telling thing to me about his intent is when he tried to play, that whole conversation sounds like it got rolled out exceptionally bad. It sounds like that conversation was very contentious from the very beginning.
Right, yeah.
But the way he's like, wow, so this is what you think of your faithful husband. It's like, well, buddy, it's like, I always like using bank robberies as metaphors.
Please.
It's like, that's like you saying like, Steve, you're dressed in a cartoon bank robber's outfit. And you're like, I'm going to go to the bank. And your wife's like, are you planning on doing anything like kind of sketchy at the bank? And you go, wow. After all this time with your not bank robber husband, you're now going to accuse me of robbing the bank? It's like, yeah, buddy, based on everything I'm seeing, that's what's going to happen.
Black mask, 3 holes on the front.
The white and black stripes.
White and black stripes.
Like, I'm telling you, he looks like the Hamburglar from McDonald's. Like, that's what he's looking like.
Oh,
it
was the stripes for me. Wow.
like a classic burglar thief outfit.
Straight up cartoon character.
And he's being like, what are you talking about? I'm a faithful man. It's like, dude, yeah.
I see it. But let's see if that's what this update contains. Update number 2. So I sat at our agreed meeting place and we agreed to meet at noon. I have the day off today, so I wasn't bound to a schedule and showed up about 10 minutes early. I waited and she arrived a little late, but I'm glad she showed up at all. So we greet each other and she says it's nice to finally get the chance to know me and to assure me that she did not tell Steve. Her assurance was nice, but I was well aware that anything she said could be completely false. Haha.
No, we're still dialing in the mics. We'll get it.
We're getting there. You can try turning me down maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, sorry.
Also
we're almost there.
go direct. Yeah. Into the mic. So we talk, and she does talk about her fiance and showed me her ring and such. I asked how they were doing, and she said it's been great, and how he proposed to her before he went on a business trip and is currently still gone. And yes, I realized that what she said is a huge red flag. So she then asked me how Steve and I were doing. I told her that it wasn't going great, and she seemed pretty surprised by my answer. Eve had asked what was wrong. I didn't give her much detail other than the fact that Steve seemed to be distancing himself from me. She then asked if this has been going on for long, and I did not tell her that it started when she appeared. Instead, I just said it started pretty recently. At this point, she is flustered. I mean, she is covering her face by saying things like, "Oh no," and "I'm just scared of what's going on."
No, she's going, "Oh no. Oh God."
God! She knows.
She knows, and we know she knows, because I'm Jermaine Cole.
So I ask her what's wrong, and she says she thinks she might be part of the reason why he's being distant. Tell me more. I asked her why she thought that she was a part of the cause, and she said that it might sound ridiculous, but she thinks that Steve might still be hung up on her from high school. She apologized for saying it and asked me to please believe her because she was being completely honest. I asked if they had dated back in high school, and she told me that they did not. It was that Steve was completely infatuated with her for all 4 years of high school and promised me that the only reason why she even agreed to meet him again was because she thought that he was over her, especially since Steve got married to me.
See, now that sounds like nonsense from both sides. Like, why would you agree to meet the guy who you had no relationship with that was infatuated with you for all of high school just because he's married now? That doesn't make any sense to me. I would still be like, hey, no, there's no reason for this. Maybe he like made a fake reason. But yeah.
My thing is the continuous hangouts. I mean, maybe he's like love bombing her or just like doing everything that she wants to do, and that's why she keeps hanging out with him. But I'm like, I don't understand why she would want to see him in the first place.
Exactly.
But I'm like, okay, I understand maybe a little bit more the first meeting. Maybe there is the like, oh, hey, like reconnecting memory lane or whatever.
I mean, sure, it's like we can be nice. We're adults now,
Yeah.
so we should be able to behave normally.
But what about the million activities they did afterwards? That's my question.
Right.
Why didn't she say like, oh, hey, let me like not spend literally all my free time with this man?
And like clearly he's still acting like he's infatuated with you. So, yeah.
Well, Opie says, I calmed her down and assured her I believed her, and I asked her what they were like in high school. Her story matched up with the conclusion she gave me, and throughout she kept apologizing to me. She told me that she has never reciprocated to Steve's feelings. I brought up the fact that Steve wouldn't ever invite me to the hangouts with the both of them, and she said that Steve just told her I just didn't want to go, or I was busy. Heck, she even showed me texts as proof of him passing me off as antisocial.
Wow. So, okay. So now we all know it's like divorce o'clock, right? Like,
Uh-oh.
we can see that, right?
It's looking really, 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 really bad.
Yeah, you tried to cheat on me with your high school crush. Even though you failed, I'll never look at you the same way.
Conspiracy 2. This is a conspiracy to cheat.
And not only is it's just so extra pathetic that it's like, it's never coming back for me.
I think I agree. I think that I would be in the same boat.
Yeah.
Eve asked me what I was going to do, the $1 million question. And I just told her that I was going to talk to Steve. That's all I can really do at this point. We made some other small talk and then thanked each other for the lunch. So what I've been able to conclude so far is if Eve and Steve were in cahoots with each other, even if Eve was trying to lie her way out of being in a physical affair with Steve, even if all her remorse, story, and apologies were a great big pile of bull, it just seems so blatant to me that he is having an emotional affair, which is enough for me.
Yeah. Literally, him being like, oh yeah, my wife is just antisocial and doesn't want to come. That's what's instant, immediate. It's over.
She keeps asking you, why can't I hang out with you guys? And you're not telling me, and then you're like blowing me off. Yeah. Yeah. Point number two, he's a lying sack of crap that purposely kept Eve and I separated by telling her I had no interest in getting to know her. And number three, I'm his rebound. It just seems as though I've always been his rebound now.
You can't have a rebound from something that never happened.
If you're
I was
Steve,
thinking
yes.
rebound from Eve.
No, I think that's what Opie's saying.
Oh,
Is like he didn't. So Steve
the consolation girlfriend.
has literally innovated in his nice guyatry, right? In his celery. And that is by there was no relationship to rebound for him. However, he's like, I need a rebound. And then that was OP.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, I'll just marry her, like whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but as soon as Eve is back in his claws, his big meaty claws, then he clenches down.
Yeah. Yep.
And tries. So I'm his rebound. It just seems as though I've always been his rebound now. She said that Steve and her separated after high school and lost contact. Not separated as in a relationship, just like didn't chat with each other, weren't friends. And then that's where I see myself coming into the story. Eve was very nice because remember they met, I think, right around the start of college.
Mm-hmm.
Eve was very nice and polite throughout the entire meal, but I will most likely let us go our separate ways after this. I do not regret meeting her for lunch whatsoever because I came for closure and I got something. I am also going to consult my lawyer and see what I can do with this information. I do not see this marriage working out, especially if he's this quick to abandon me for an old flame and have already spent so many years of my life on this marriage. My sister is well aware of what was going on and I am welcome to stay with her and I do intend to. When Steve comes home, he will get an earful and I'll let him give his own side of the story. But until then, I will prepare myself.
You are not prepared.
Quick poll, divorce or not. I want to hear from our amazing, incredible, kind-hearted people in our community. Remember, only community, in fact. That is you, literally watching this right freaking now.
Yes.
So let me know what you think. But yeah, I think,
It's over.
yeah.
It's over.
And you know what's the real nail in the coffin for me? I mean, like, it's already atrocious what he did, like going with Eve, the lying, like everything else. When she sat down and had the conversation, she laid out all her feelings. She asked permission to see the phone to, like, maybe I'm crazy. Can I see your phone? That's when he went all attack and all on the offense. Yeah. That is the point when you're like, you know what? I made the biggest mistake of my life by doing this. And you know what? I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I can recognize now that this was wrong and you're calling me out, which is fair. And all I can do is put my best foot forward to earn your trust back as your husband.
That would be a very emotionally intelligent response. Being able to be like, yeah, I got like crossed up and for some reason the high school version of me still in my brain is like in love with Eve. And I kind of moved like it. Like I was moving and shaking trying to get Eve to notice me. So that's weird, right? But that's never going to happen from Steve.
Steve's not going to say that.
Steve yearns for the mines.
Well, I will say Steve might say that, but probably not.
Yeah, he's not going to say that.
But we have update number 3.
Let's go.
So to start off, I've talked with my lawyer, who is also my cousin, and she gave me advice from both a legal perspective and her own personal perspective. To sum it up, she said that I should let our issues settle down for a while before I even consider divorce, specifically until it is to the point of a separation with no progress, that I should keep my act in line. She also gave me her recommendations of where to attend marriage counseling. My sister says that I'm welcome to stay at her home, but in the meantime, I have put it on hold. I do realize that I was taking a bit too far with the jump to divorce, especially since I haven't spoken to Steve yet. I also took some time to calm down before I did this update. What I will say is, okay, Opie did have the conversations where she laid out how she felt in terms of everything with Eve. However, I guess one thing she didn't say yet, which would be good to communicate in the open and honest style she did before, was like, hey, look, we had this conversation. The way you reacted is like, that's not how I want my life partner to be. So either we can work on this and like actually work on this. And I mean, like, you need to work, or I don't think I can do this anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. I'm still divorced. I'm still on team divorce. It's like you sat down at that table and he tried to tell you you're not in charge of the friends that he makes while he's actively lying to her so that he can be alone with her so he can try to get her interested in him. Like he was trying that whole time to cheat on you. And like, yeah, I'm like, okay, so who's the next person who walks back into your life that you're like, maybe it was her and not my wife that I should be with? When's it going to happen again? I don't know. I don't really care why it happened. It's like, I feel like this would almost be better if it happened and we weren't married. The fact that we're married for this long, it's like if we had been together for like a year and like this happens, it's like maybe we get on the other side of it. But we are married and you're fully doing this while we're married.
We've lost the time.
It's
Opie said.
over. We're done.
It's supposed to be Adam and Eve, not Steve and Eve.
That's true.
That's Keon. That's not what it was supposed to be.
I'm burnt out, but yeah.
Oh,
He's a burnt boy. He's a crispy boy.
Yeah.
But guys,
I'm not here.
Oh,
it's Eve's husband is Adam. That's the name I'm giving. It's Adam and Eve, not Steve and Eve. And that is just the way the big guy intended it to be.
Steve.
Now, on to what happened yesterday when Steve came home. When he had just arrived in the house, I let him get settled down before I would discuss with him about Eve, him, and us. Once he was on the couch in the living room, I sat down and asked if we could talk, and I got no reply back, so I went on with our discussion. First off, I apologize for having lost my temper on him on Monday. I think you were expressing the very frustrating thing, to be honest.
I think at this point, like your cousin lawyer's advice was to just move as demurely as possible so that you'll get favorable, like, decision in the
Right.
divorce. I think that's what we're doing.
But I want to move in. I'm done. That's how I'm moving.
Even Stevens.
Ooh, Kimberly Fine. Nice.
Yeah, even Steve's in. Oh, but he's not. But that's the most pathetic thing is he's not.
He's not.
And
He-
she's just
he
like,
never
oh,
was.
God, this guy is definitely, oh, no.
Why'd you hang out with him, Eve?
Yeah, why'd
Riddle me
we?
that.
Gross.
Riddle me that, man. Maybe she felt bad. She's like,
I guess.
here's.
Hopefully it came from a sweetie pie place of like, well, maybe he's changed. Maybe he deserves a friend.
I then brought up the fact that I had spoken with Eve, of which he had asked me that definitely got his attention. And he asked me to repeat what I just said. What did you just say? Like that. And then he asked me, why the F would you do that?
Yeah, it's divorce o'clock, dude.
I told him that since he would not tell me what was going on, I had went to Eve myself to get to know her and talk about it. If you had told me, I wouldn't have done this. I then told him that I needed to discuss about what Eve told me and then proceeded to tell Steve about the whole high school infatuation and how we both suspect that he still might be hung up on her. I asked him if what she said was true. And what does he say in response, Dakota?
I would assume he runs out of wherever you're at with a cartoon puff of smoke like behind him. Yeah, like he like spins up his legs and like runs out.
Well, Steve then cleared up to me that it's not an infatuation, but that he's actually in love with Eve.
Oh, so it's worse. So it's actually the worst thing it could be. Great. I'll see you never. Bye.
At least he's finally freaking honest. So next, I asked him how he felt about me, and he said that he does indeed love me, but it's different with what he has with Eve.
Lies.
It's different.
Deceptions.
I brought up the fact that she was already engaged, and he got a bit angry and told me that I already know that. He already knows, but that doesn't mean he can just get over Eve. Wow.
I'd be walking out at this point if I'm OP. I'm like, you
Wow.
already told me everything I need to say. I'm going to get a lawyer. You'll be hearing from them.
Well, Opie doesn't do that. She instead says, I then asked him if they have ever done anything together, which I pleaded to him to be absolutely honest with me. And he said that no, they haven't done anything because Eve isn't like that.
Because Eve doesn't like you.
Then why did you even try?
Even.
I'm going to be honest, Dakota, it freaking infuriates me. It makes me almost as mad as when people hear me say that if you want to listen to a huge vault of episodes just like this with incredible stories, and all you have to do is go to Spotify, Apple, and search OK Storytime, and they don't do it for 2,800 episodes of which they could listen to their heart's content, Dakota, I'm blowing gaskets.
We call him the Florida Hulk when he gets like this, when you guys don't listen to the full episodes available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Bath salts, I don't even need them. That's how crazed and angry I get.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's we need your help.
Just do it.
So there's that.
So there's that. But on a very real note, final closing thoughts as we reach the conclusion of this story here, my friend.
Yeah, the lawyer up. It's divorce o'clock. And I wouldn't listen. I would hear I'm in love with her and I'd go, okay, bye. I'm out. I leave.
I'll be honest. I know this is the why ask this? You're only going to get more infuriating answers. But I would just be dying of curiosity of like, he literally said, Eve isn't like that. If you know she's not like that, then why do you even try?
Because he's in love, John. Because he's in love with Eve.
Because love
who's
makes us do crazy
never
things.
reciprocated his feelings ever.
You're right. You're right, my friend.
No one knows what true love is except for Steve.
Steve is the authority on love. He's going to start a new podcast and write a book, and he's going to say Steve's way, the highway to love.
Mm-hmm.
Highway to Steve.
Yeah.
I like that, Keon.
The Steve way to Eve.
Thank you, Crispy Keon, for he was so hot that the camera just burst into flames, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm in your head.
Yep. Oh, where is he?
I'm all around.
Get out of me, Ed.
Well, Opie says, I was about to ask if he would really have an affair with her if she welcomed it, but I really don't want to hear his answer.
It's
so
yes.
I didn't ask.
It's a yeah.
The answer,
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
The answer is yes. I brought up the fact that he lied to the both of us and asked why he did it, and he said he guessed that he just didn't want me to be there. He apologized to me, but I didn't really know how to take it and still don't.
What an idiot. You're like, why didn't you want me there? He's like, I don't know. I guess it would just be hard to have my wife and my girlfriend in the same place.
It's tough. How can I pretend she's my girlfriend when my wife is there? Can you riddle me that?
I've also been lying to her this whole time about you, so you kind of can't come.
Oops. Sorry. That's his apology. And also, why didn't he tell me earlier? He told me that I might as well know now since the cat's out of the bag. I proposed that we go to marriage counseling so we could possibly fix this. I do love Steve, and it absolutely hurts right now, but I told him that we could salvage what we still have together, and he could possibly get over Eve. He said he wasn't going to get over Eve no matter how hard I try.
Okay.
No matter how hard you try, I will never get over Eve. This is crazy. I asked if he still wanted to be married to me, and he said, of course.
Ah, we've got a real idiot on our hands.
Wow. I told him I would leave him to the rest of the week to think it over if he wants to go to marriage counseling or not, and he said he would think it over. We are now speaking to each other again, but are not intimate, understandably. I won't hound him for an answer. Instead, I'll let him simmer on this until the end of the week. I'm disgusted. If he refuses to attend counseling, then I suppose he just doesn't want to work on our marriage anymore. And I think that would be an accurate statement. And then I'll follow up with another accurate statement that you've asked him who he was, and he told you.
He told it plain as day to your face. He told you.
And Dakota, when people tell us the truth about who they are, what is that thing that we do? Wait, what are you pointing to?
You gotta use your ears. These things on the side of your head.
Oh,
you use your ears and you listen.
You listen.
You know, there's no way back for this, and you'll be better off without Steve. You will. It doesn't feel like that right now, but you will. Because this is never going to go away. This is just going to be a thing in the background. Unless you guys do go to counseling and therapy and work this out and bury it together. But, like, it's still going to be in the ground. Like, it's never going to have not happened. And, like, I don't feel like we should keep going.
Of course I want to stay married to you, but I will never get over my love of Eve.
It's nonsense.
Let's make it work.
I know.
It's insane.
She doesn't want you, bro. Put the fries in the bag. She doesn't want you.
Oh.
Okay.
Agreed. And you know what? While we didn't get right to that point, I have faith that I think OP's just has a good heart and
Yes.
wants to put in her part.
Yes.
You know, by the way, just a quick call out, she was super upfront in a pretty timely fashion, laid out all of her feelings, didn't leave anything unsaid, you know, asked permission to see the phone, is giving him a million chances. Like, OP is both being very kind and I think standing up for herself in many ways.
Yes.
Not just holding it in.
I agree.
And-
OP's, yeah. It's like the combo of like, I know that this is wrong, but I'm willing to work on it because we're married.
Yes.
And I want to give it I want to see if we can fix it at least. There's a better partner than I in this situation, but yes.
And if she wanted to leave immediately, guess what? Yeah, you're 1,000% within your right to do that as well.
Totally in the correct column. The correct column.
But you know it is a correct statement and not a false statement, I hope. I think.
That is the end.
that it's over.
That is the end of that story, the end of that
Is
episode.
that right?
And the
my
end
friend,
of this stream.
on the ones and twos. So, ladies and gentlemen, end of the story, end of the episode, and end of the stream. But if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you and see you tomorrow.